All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Jamie here, and we're going to have a really awesome webinar tonight. First of all, I'd like to ask everybody, has everybody found their niche? And if not, what is your niche? Mine is, as you can see on the screen, music stuff. It's usually like what I have specialized in the last 8 years I've been online. Of course, there's other stuff too that I was really good at, but I'd say maybe 70% was a lot of music stuff, music lessons, musical instruments, building musical software, music apps, music articles, you know, how to play guitar articles, all sorts of stuff having to do with being a musician, because I was a musician. So if you guys are really good with dogs or something, then you're going to be a dog trainer. You know what I'm saying? If you're really good at, you know, if you're an accountant, then spend the next month building some cool accountant software and make $100 million bucks. That's what I'd, you know, recommend to everybody. Just stick with what you're good at. And therefore, it's going to be entirely ethical, legal. You're going to have longevity with the business. You're going to be in business for a long time. You're not going to run into problems with competition, like where you don't know what you're talking about and they slaughter you. You're going to be able to devastate the industry, devastate all your competition, because I promise you that's usually not the way of thinking out there. Usually people are really just opportunists and they just jump on the newest, hottest thing or something like that. And so if you're a specialist and you come into that market and you're like, all right, I'm going to start selling some, you know, whatever it is, your weight loss, you know, you're a doctor, so you do weight loss stuff, you know, I mean, then you're going to be on top of it. All right. So that's the way I teach. So let's get on with it. Let's figure out everybody's niche and everybody's business model. What I'd like everybody to do, I did this here in Photoshop. You don't need to do a fancy thing like this, but I'd like to put together tonight the business model based on your niche. So I guess we'll start with Azale here. How you doing, Azale? I want you to come up with 4 things, all right? Let me, wow, got a lot of stuff here. Let me just make sure I can, here, let's start like this. And these are the 4 things you got to come up with immediately, okay? Number 1 is informational product. We're going to do all these products and sites and stuff like that, all right? So an informational product and page to sell that product, you know, copywriting, you know, that type of thing, okay? Then we want to figure out a physical product that will sell to these same people. Actually, I should say, let's make this 2, 3, and what we'll do up here is niche, or let's say niche, this will be market. Okay, so first we figure out the market, then we figure out your niche, then we figure out the business models, you know, all right? So we'll do all of these different business models. Informational product, you know, that's if you're going to, you know, of course we're going to do one at a time, all right? Physical products, this is easy because then you just sell someone else's physical products for commission, right? Service, iPhone app, Kindle book, and email marketing, materials, free blog for, you know, Google Penguin or whatever you call it. I don't know anything about SEO again, but we know that the latest update is good. It's a good thing, you know, because that means all your competition that isn't following my advice is going to suck. And that means you're going to be good, because I teach stuff that Google likes, you know? So if you roll with me on this, then you'll be in good shape. Your competition won't. So that means you're going to be able to easily, put it this way. The way it used to go down is Google was very mathematical, very nerdy and mathematical. Ooh, let's make sure we have the right keyword density and this and that. All right. Meanwhile, back in the day, all of these real smart people, they were making, money with SEO, like blogs and stuff. And I wasn't. I wasn't really good at SEO. What I was doing was creating products and creating cool content. Okay? Now, if I was doing what I was doing back then, nowadays, you see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like Google changed it to appease people like me, like people who do real stuff. I don't mean to toot my own horn. That's reality, all right? I'm a creative person, and they basically made it so that creative people will succeed because they're real people. They're not just doing some bull, like the article that has the keyword density and all of that nerdy stuff none of us understand anyway. Or at least the creative people don't understand. All right, but anyway, this should be all of the different stuff that, we figure out. So, of course, hopefully you guys know these two things, right? The market and the niche. If we look back at mine, okay. This was my market, okay? The music stuff, okay, as you see there. My products, these are my two products, okay, that I built, that I'm using as examples, okay? These are physical products right down here. I was promoting Musician's Friend, right? The bass guitars and the guitars and stuff, right? And then, of course, your email marketing ties it all together, okay? That's your vehicle for once you get visitors to your blog or visitors here to your product pages. Then that's what ties, for instance, someone will buy Sonic Producer, and then I send them an email saying, would you like to buy, a bass guitar? Or would you, well, in this case it was, would you like to buy a drum machine? Would you like to buy something to go along with your Sonic Producer software? Would you like to buy a microphone or something like that? And I mean, we're talking like a $2,000 microphone. You get like a, $200, $300 commission, So that's the idea. So, for instance, if you were in dog training, your little briefing thing will look like this. It'll be like, all right, your market is dogs and pets, okay, pets. The niche is dog training, okay? It's the same thing if you went into a pet store and there's books on the rack teaching how to train your dog, okay? So, of course, we're just getting started. The first thing, the easiest thing to do is create your first informational product, which is an ebook or the makings of something you can turn into a Kindle book, which is a smaller version of, okay, of your awesome 100-page informational product. That's $20-$30, right? Then physical products, this is where you move into selling leashes, dog fences, stuff like that, okay? It's because that stuff will sell to the same person, okay? And then a service, this is where you can do, I guess the remote way to do it is the way I do it with a webinar, but you could have a local service where you go out to the person's house, okay? So we're going to set that up. We're going to learn how to do that. And that can of course be, you can do, it's the same thing as if you're going to go mow someone's lawn, okay? It's like $50, $100, something like that. You travel out, a little extra money from the same people, remember, who bought this stuff, okay? So it's like your one customer who came into your world is going to love you, and they're going to buy all this different stuff. If you don't do a good job at this, your entry into everything, and you don't do a good job with your email marketing, they're not going to want to buy anything from you. So you got to treat them right. You got to be ethical, and you got to give them some good stuff. All right? And of course, also intriguing stuff that's interesting to read and funny and stuff like that. We'll get into that as well with copywriting. But anyway, all right, so you guys get the point. First, you got your informational product. You got physical product, service, an iPhone app, Kindle book, email marketing materials, and your free blog. Now, you don't, all of this stuff is really, this is why this stuff is so cool. Of course, you're not going to have this stuff done by tomorrow. You might have this done by tomorrow if you work all night on it and you are furious about it, and you go, you just write, type until your fingers hurt. And then you might have a really cool ebook by tomorrow. I'm not saying, it's possible, or I'm not saying it's impossible. It's just, it's up to you. If you're in a passionate niche, I would say it's possible. Then building your site might take a couple more days, etc. I mean, of course, if you're really, if you want to make some extra money right away without doing any of this stuff, that's fine too. I'm not just, prejudiced and saying that you have to do the, you have to go this route. But you know why I'm saying go this route? Because you're going to make a certain amount of money here, okay? And from that same customer, you're going to make a certain amount of money here, a certain amount of money here, a certain amount of money here from the same customer. So instead of making $30, you're going to have a relationship with that customer. It makes sense, right? The reason it would make sense is no matter if you're spending money with PPC, or you're spending your time posting ads somewhere, or you built a blog and you got backlinks, no matter what you're doing, that needs to pay off, okay? That's the idea. And how are we going to pay off? We make sure that we are serious about this, Don't just dabble and write a little ebook and put it up and get 3 sales and then call it a day. Come on now, let's do this. Trust me, this is possible, okay? It's the same thing with all of the other niches out there. This is exactly what I did with my music stuff. I built an empire out of that music stuff. It's really easy to do. And I mean, look at that. That wasn't even really a niche where people super needed everything. It was more like a hobby for people. So think about the potential if you guys are like, if someone is a counselor or a doctor or something like that. Okay. I mean, that's something that I'm not. So I've never gotten into anything like that, but wow, that would be incredible. Another example is I was helping a friend of mine, with his friends. His friend has this site called Currency Thoughts. All right? Right? He's great. He knows a lot about Forex. He doesn't make any money with this site, but all he does is just go crazy writing really good articles. And he gives it to his professional friends. His professional friends are on his mailing list and they check it out. But he doesn't make any money with it. And he also doesn't really know how to do any SEO stuff. So after looking at this, I thought to myself, you know what? I mean, he could do online stuff. Like he could add some more pages based on targeted keywords. Or you know what? He could just start getting backlinks from sites that are already successful on Google in those certain niches, right? With those certain keywords. And I was thinking maybe since this stuff is so interesting that people will hang out, and then therefore they're hanging out, Google's really cool with it. So I think that's like partly what I think 2 things he could do is, of course, he's got the awesome content, and a lot of people really do. A lot of people are really great writers, At this point, he's got to do 2 things. And remember, I haven't even gotten into the monetization stuff. I haven't even gotten into talking to him about making money. I mean, Noel, who is his friend, was asking me, he's like, well, how does he make money with it? How does he make money with this site? And first, the 2 different things that he really needs to do first is he needs to get traffic. And he has to ensure a really good user experience from that traffic so that Google rewards him, and then it gets exposure, and with that gets a ton of traffic. It's like critical mass. Okay? So that's like kind of like the idea behind what we're doing here. The same thing goes for our recipe here, okay? This is a great example right here. This site is a great example of a niche that gets serious amount of traffic and has serious commercial intent. We're talking like if you go to Google Keyword Tool and you type in Forex, right? Or like currency, foreign markets, keywords like that. Oh my God, it's insane. It's just like all the way down the page, like ridiculous potential. I mean, and you got keywords that get 100,000 views. I mean, 100,000 impressions, and then you got like keywords that get like 1,500. 1,500,000, and you got things all over the place. And I mean, it's probably going to be a little bit more competitive because there's so much potential to make so much money in this freaking thing. I mean, you can be an affiliate of like Forex.com or like let's think of another one, Scott Trade or like E-Trade. You know what I'm saying? You could have like you could join like partnership programs of like a lot of the different trials. You know how they do like those free, Forex.com had that trial. I don't know if they still do it, but there's just so much. There's so much potential. I mean, for being an affiliate of other products and selling your own products, even software. I mean, it's just there's so many different avenues with this niche. So I was thinking, those two things he has to do first, because he's killed that one bird with the one stone, which is providing really awesome content. So he just has to make sure that, like for instance, on this front page, it's not anymore necessarily about that, when people get to this front page, they're going to be like, oh, I don't see my keywords, so I'm going to leave. No, it's more psychological than that. It's like, are these articles about what the person typed in? It's simple. It's a simple thing. It's like the person typed in foreign markets. When he gets here, is there going to be enough on foreign markets to keep him here? That's really all it is. So if not, then he's got to organize it better. He's got, and over here, he's got to have, he could have like buttons up here that was like, bam, home, and then bam, foreign markets, and then bam, commentators or something. So when someone types this in here, like Krugman, all the Friedman, or like economists and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It'll be like, so the philosophy. I don't know. Stuff that people might really keep them here. Like you really got to think like a visitor and think about like what they'd really want to see. All right. So enough about the SEO thing, because I'm not an expert on SEO, and I apologize for not knowing more about it. But look, that's something that I feel like when a lot of the SEO experts won't tell you, because they're so mathematical, and that's why everyone is going freaking out and flipping out. And is the minute I started to do more research and like started to learn a little bit more about what's going on with the new updates, because I've put them down I've kind of discouraged people from going the SEO route in the last few months, and like it was partly because like I didn't see a lot of people prior to being in my class getting results with it. So I was like, now that you're in my class and you have done your blogging and it did not work for you and this and that, we are going to really focus on some stuff that's definitely going to work, But now that I see these new updates, I'm like, wow, we can actually kind of, we can really work with this. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, you guys know me. I was always really against the mathematical stuff. You follow? Okay. So, aside from that, let's get everybody their niche. All right. For Azael here, I don't know what niche let me see if he got back to me here. I don't think he did yet, but that's okay. I don't blame him. What we want to do for Azael is we want to figure this stuff out. First of all, we need to figure out the niche. If he's in dog training, then we got to figure out that let's get the domain name. Of course, there'll be a domain name that will that'll be more for this, a more brandable type of thing, like dogsjumpthroughhoops.com. Cool name. Then this one can maybe be either, I'd say let's do like based on a keyword, or kind of like a hybrid between brandable and based on a keyword. Follow? And then let's just work with those two. I mean, you could have a .info if you don't have any money. I mean, you get a $2 thing. I mean, like or don't stress it. Let's figure all this stuff out first. Let's design all of it. You could spend 2 weeks making the coolest freaking plan ever, the best design ever. You have everything thought out. You're excited. Get excited, you know? That's fine. Don't feel like you have to jump right into buying a domain name tonight. But if you do want to jump right in, you got a creative mind and you come up with some cool ideas, the same way as if you're drinking a couple beers with some buddies and you're coming up with stupid ideas about, you know, what invention would be cool to you know, introduce to a market or something, like, you know, stuff that you guys probably already do, you know. That's the type of thinking. We got to invent something really cool. And then for that website, we're going to think of what type of something we want to sell, and it should be something informational, okay? So that's the first thing you do. Very affordable, you know, we're talking $20 a unit. Very cool book, something that, you know, they very affordable, so that, and a lot of value, so once your customer reads the book, then, you know, they'll be interested in your other stuff. Then what type of products? Let's write a list of what products we can sell. You can get some ideas from different shopping malls and stuff. For instance, if you were in music, you can go to, you know, musiciansfriend.com. That's the one that I sold, right? If you're in dog training, then we would go to pet store or something, pets.com. Let's get some ideas for, and of course, you know, we'll try to organize it so that, you know, I mean, could you imagine if you designed your business very well, it was very successful, very profitable, it would be because you organized it very well. For instance, you know, there's Joan Ryan from Woodbury, Connecticut, logged onto your site at 9 a.m. and had bought your informational book, and then bought an entire dog fence, you know, electric fence for like $2,000, and you made, you know, $20 from the ebook, and then $200 from the dog fence, and then I don't know. I don't know a lot about dog training, but you get my point, right? So that's a successful business when you have all of those different monetization methods. And of course, you know, we cover our ass with Google so that you could send AdWords traffic at the page, and Google's cool with you and they like your page. Also that you're, you know, they're going to like the interaction, and you're going to get some good search engine response, right? You're building your list. You can in your follow-ups, you can sell different things every day in the follow-ups. So you have a really, you know, you covered all your bases. That's the type of stuff I'd like to see you implement. So it starts with a really cool plan. And I mean, if you want to sit back and do the math and try to figure out how much you could possibly make, trust me, when you've covered all your bases monetization wise, and you have all of these different potentials, say, you know, 30 every 30, look at it this way. Every 50 people to your site, 50 people to the site, they buy info book, okay? So let's say you just had an info book. That would be it. $20. Okay. I'm going to prove to you why my plan is so freaking awesome. All right. So you got 50. All right. So say 2,000 people come to your site every day. All right. You got some affiliates. 2,000 divided by 50 equals 40. 40 times 20 is 800 bucks. Did I do that right? That seems right. All right, so you got some pretty good conversion. And that's actually really good conversion if that's overall, okay? So look, guys, a little disclaimer. This is very, very good. That's a very, very good result. That's if you are, like, concentrating your ass off right now and taking notes, okay? So take notes and take this really seriously. Shut the door, turn off the music, especially rap music. Make sure that you are concentrating on this, all right? All right. So you did that right now. out of these 50 people, now you got 2 people that buy physical product immediately. Okay, that was, you made $10 in commissions. Nothing much, okay? But that was for every 50, right? What do you think? So that's 1 out of 25? All right, well, let's say 1. All right, so one person that gave you $10, okay. That's $10 times 40 is $400. Okay, now you've got your service. One person from that 50 bought the service. And you know what? It doesn't matter if these are really best case scenario numbers. You know why? Because let's do algebra. After we're done doing this, let's do the problem backwards and say, okay, what would it take to make sure we had those good results? And then we do our work. You know, we make sure we do our work to ensure those results. We make sure that our site is freaking awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. So you just, this is what you do first. You figure out what you want to do. You figure out, you put it all in perspective. You say to yourself, how can I make these types of numbers? And at the same time, make sure that everybody who buys my stuff is excited and happy and loves me and loves the content. You might want to start getting on some apps, some cool contests, gimmicks, tell a friend, a lot of free content, cool stuff to ensure that this is what happens. Keep them at your site. You want them to end up at your site and not want to leave and not want to go to any other competitor's site. You give them the idea like, all right, this site is awesome. I don't even want to leave it to see if there's something more awesome. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of the time people come to your site and they'll be like, all right, well, this is cool, but there's probably something better. There might be something better. Why don't we eliminate that entirely and just make our whole thing so incredibly freaking amazing that no one wants to freaking leave? And what's going to happen is Google's going to see that you're just so much better than everyone else, and you're going to end up #1 on Google, and you're just going to make millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the way we think here. This is what I did. Okay, so look, so one person that bought 50 bought the service. What was that? $100? Okay, I don't know. So 100 times 40 is, well, that's $4,000, I think. I'm not even going to do that. All right. What does everybody think so far of this equation? Am I on or am I missing something? Let's get a quick assessment. I like to do this with you guys from here, from now and then, you know. Ooh, Matthew Neer got a cool domain name. Nice, nichemula.com. All right, any assessment? What do you guys think? All right, excellent, says Tony Jones. Looks good. Ready for the next step, says Krista. Steven says, Jamie, what if I already bought a domain name in the niche I feel I could do well in, but maybe name is not that great? Can it still work? My site name is easyonlinemoneynow.com. I think that's a cool name, man. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think it's good. The one thing I'd wonder about is if you're asking me advice on if that will work, why did we go into that niche? You know what I'm saying? Why didn't we go into something you knew more about? I am not too afraid of, I mean, because I know after you've been in my class 12 times, you're going to know everything about how to do affiliate marketing and stuff. You're going to be, I would give you the certification. I mean, for instance, if you follow along and at the end of the 12 sessions, you took notes and everything, I would say that you're going to know everything about this. You might not be technically skilled. That's up to you to practice, get good at copying and pasting and typing. That just takes time. You got to, you're not going to be like awesome typist, like right off the bat if you never used a computer before. Writing, for instance, but now's the time. Just start practicing, start writing and practicing technical. And then what I'm trying to say is at the end of the class, then I think you'll be more, certified to teach others, but it's like more like you really should just, I think that name is fine. It's just, I hope that you know what you're doing and you're talking about, because it's competitive. And so, that niche is competitive. So you're going to have to really say something more than just a generic sentence to get people to listen to you. You want to really have an amazing edge, like a different spin than other people on it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, my whole spin is like, look, I'm the real deal. I can prove it to you. Check this out. Look at my Flippa auction. Sold this site for $100,000. Don't believe it? Go to Flippa. Go to the actual listing. Look, I got 10 of them. I've been doing it since, so that's my angle, and then my other thing is like, what I've learned is that this is happening and this sucks. And then people are like, wow, really? I didn't know that, so, it's like kind of like I've just got like this inside track I've been doing a long time. So I can kind of, if you're brand new to it, you're going to be like, all right, it's still cool. You could come to 2 of my sessions, start doing this stuff, make your first, $100, and then be like, I made $100 online. This is how I did it. And people will buy your book, you just tell them about how you did it. It's not going to be like you're going to make, a lot of money from that though. You're not like this type of, and it's also like you might have trouble, entering the market because it's just so expensive to do pay-per-click for internet marketing stuff and make money online stuff. It's just very, very competitive. So I'd recommend go into something where you really, it doesn't matter if it's too competitive, but it really matters like how you perform in it. Okay. That's what matters, is like, how well are you going to perform in this thing? And what I mean by perform is it's beyond just having your sales page, your template, squeeze page. It's in your follow-ups. Are your follow-ups like the same follow-ups that like a whole bunch of other people are using too? Because that wouldn't be good. If you're not original and you don't have your own stuff and you're just doing all PLR stuff, I would recommend not going into a competitive niche because a ton of other people are doing the same thing you're doing and they might be better at it than you are. So that's why I recommend to go into something that you really know about. All right. I say that so many times, don't I? All right. So, so everybody thinks this is good. Dave says looks good so far. Mark says I think it's okay. Looks good. Tell me if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Akintade. Filet. I think this setup is genius. Thank you. I really appreciate that. All right, guys. So you like it. All right, cool. All right, so Azael is back, and he says, all right, so I'm down to create this layout. So, Azael, what we want to do is figure out what you could really do fast, okay? What do you think if I was forcing you to do this by 6 in the morning? What could we do tonight, man? What video, do you have a video camera? Can we do a video of you training a dog or cooking a gluten-free meal? Or, did you lose weight, a whole bunch of weight, and you could do before and after and just, a quick little Kindle book on that? Is there something we can create right now? Let's all do that. Let's all have that mentality right now. You know what I'm saying, buddy? So you need to get back to me on that. We need to get on it. Same thing with Bruce, Jamie, all of you guys. We got to figure out what we're doing here. Dave Ennis says step marketing 1, 2, 3. Nice, like that. Okay. So Calburn says my niche is in fat loss. How could I get some physical products to go along with it? All right, fat loss. All right. Now, hopefully you're in it for the right reason. You know a lot about it. The reason is because, especially with some certain niches, there's a lot of fraud going on, and it's very bad news, and you don't want to get in trouble. So the way to not be fraudulent is to not be fraudulent, you know, to have real stuff. So if you are for real, then what you can do is you can, hopefully, this would be really great, is if you had some type of certification, fitness equipment, supplements, stuff like that. But of course, you don't want to end up like one of these guys that, you know, starts selling supplements and there's something wrong with it and the FDA like sues the crap out of you and puts you in jail. You know what I'm saying? Obviously. So that's why I say you should really know what you're doing. If you do know what you're doing, those are some of the things you're going to want to do, you know, like exercise equipment. You can, you know, you'd first of all, you could look up, find retailers on Google, right? And then figure out where they are, where their affiliate programs are. If they're on Commission Junction, etc. So let's see, exercise equipment. All right. So for instance, like Nordic, let's see if Nordic Track has a, let's see if they have an affiliate program. And I would think that it would be a good opportunity because everyone has heard of Nordic Track. Like I would think in this, when you're trying to sell something like this to, you know, to people who are looking for it, it'll help to have something that people trust. And also, the affiliate program might have some type of coupon for you to use. So then you could be like, all right, you know, buy it from me and get 10% off. That would be really cool. I've heard of certain, I don't know if I ever did this before, but I've heard there's also type of thing where you can send people a rebate. Like if you get a $200 commission, you can say, and I'll give you $100 rebate. And then you'd make, you know, and then like, I'm not sure how to go about that, but you get my drift. And you'd have to be very careful about that too. You'd have to do every rebate, or else you can get in trouble, you know? But, all right, but that's just, I don't know, some idea I heard. I heard that somewhere. So don't really do that unless we do more research on it. But anyway, let's look. So do they have something here? All right, well, I'd say it's under company links down here. Company and then media relations. Okay, here's a whole bunch of links and stuff. Yeah, I don't know if they have an affiliate program. Yeah, I mean, if they don't have an affiliate program, then forget it. All right, let's see. Well, let's click on Contact Us. Oh, look. Wait. Webmaster. No, that's not it. All right. Well, I think I'm going to give up on these guys. I don't think they have an affiliate program, and if they do, they're not really, doesn't really have a link anywhere. And trust me, there's going to be other companies that do have affiliate programs. You feel me? So let's check out Tread Climber. You know, I mean, but you get the drift. This is what you would do. Look, affiliate program. So Tread Climber by Bowflex. Here's the affiliate program. Let's click. $3,000 freaking dollars for that. Make 7% commission. Average order amount of 1,100. So that's like $75 or something, right? $75 okay. So this would be your physical, this would be one of the physical products. Okay. Calburn. You know what I'm saying? So write that down on your list, okay? Everybody write a list, you know? Make sure we fill out this list by the end of the webinar. I want everyone to have their business models and niches. We're gonna do the same thing on Tuesday. This is fun. All right. Richard has, if teaching people how to retire sooner is the niche, what do you suggest is the best target market? I'm not the best at Facebook ads, to tell you the truth, but doesn't Facebook ads have Matthew? Doesn't our Facebook ads control panel do age? How can you do age with other? Anybody know that? Any advanced people here that know that better than I do? Yeah, of course it does, right? That's what Isaiah says. I don't know. I've got Matthew running my Facebook stuff, so I'm ridiculously retarded with it. But yeah, you see what I'm saying? Okay, cool. So Richard's going to get on that. Let's see. Who else has got a niche and business model going? I know Isaiah's in internet marketing, you know, teaches how to do SEO or, you know. What is the main, Isaiah, by the way, what is your main focus with Internet Marketing Mafia? Is that like, what are some of your techniques in that? Because what you could do is that could be like your umbrella, and then you can have a couple specializing products. Like, you know how I did a lot of internet marketing this last year? And every product was different. Like, they all went over something different. Like, remember, IE had the squeeze page with Facebook, and then Income Times 10 was a lot of forum marketing. You know, so I did so it'd be like the squeeze page with email marketing and solos and stuff. Then the forum marketing, and then IMWITHJAMIE is the coaching. You see what I'm saying? So you would do the same thing. You can integrate all of that, you know, and then you'd be able to sell the different sub niches within that market. You see what I'm saying? All right. So Brian says, I was a home builder for many years. I feel like I should do something in this niche, but it is just covered up with business builders teaching. What are your thoughts? Well, you have to do a little bit more. You have to adapt your knowledge to a demand that is out there. So you look up on Google keyword tool. You've got a whole bunch of different. Options, Brian. You've got tree houses. People want to learn how to build tree houses. They want to learn how to build furniture. They want to learn how to build homes. Also could be the type of thing where it's like, be careful of the weird home builder or something. You know, like, you could do a Kindle book on, like, you know, how home builders rip you off or something like that. You see what I'm saying? Or, you know what, forget Kindle. I don't know nothing about Kindle anyway, but you get my drift. It could be on anything. It could be you could have like something on iTunes. Beware of home builders. I don't know. You know, come up with, I mean, you could have like some type of contractors, you know, iPhone app, you know, hire people off of Odesk to build design it yourself and give it to them and have them build like a contractor's iPhone app. I know that there's a level, you know, the iPhone app, the level, you know, that you can use your iPhone as a, you know, as the level to make sure it's straight. Now, I don't know a lot about carpentry either, but, You probably do. So you see what I'm saying? I mean, look, if you want to do the home building thing, you don't want to get into and you think that you're afraid that demand that you're referring to, that you think that, you know, you're going to be targeting won't buy your thing, then yeah, you're probably right. You've got to find it. You got to be sure about it. You know, you got to do the research first to make sure that your niche is going to want to buy, you know, they're going to want to buy what you're selling. You know what I'm saying? What do you think? What are your thoughts on my whole thing with that? Matthew says, should I put affiliate links into my ebook? Yeah, sure. You know, give it out for free. You know? it's kind of like doing affiliate marketing is kind of like driving really fast and, well, it's like being able to maneuver around, like driving fast through traffic. So it's kind of, like if you were on the highway and it was kind of difficult, you're driving through New York City or something. That's kind of what it's like. You should be a good New York City driver with affiliate marketing, if that makes sense. Weird analogy, but what I mean by that is, you know what? Sometimes you might be since you're in a niche that has certain problems, then you need to compensate for those problems in other ways. So that's why I was saying, of course everybody has a problem selling stuff. But since Matthew here was so smart enough to think about putting affiliate links in an ebook, then he can do that. And you know what? He's going to make his money that way instead of on the front end, because that's going to hurt him. Getting money on the front end, it's not going to sell as much. He's not going to be able to get that into as many people's hands. You see what I'm saying? So he could just give it away for free. Everybody will love him. Or, same thing with his site. He could have just tons of free stuff on the site and just, sell, stuff via affiliate. But, I mean, of course, you want to really, do some really cool freaking stuff. Steve says, for Brian, avoid builder blunders. All right. So there you go. You heard it from Steve. Steve had bad experience with that niche. So adapt, man. Adapt. See, look on ClickBank. You can see that there's already, these, remember that what do you call it?